So Trunks has turned Zamasu into a Kit Kat bar, which causes the god to revert back into his two weaker counterparts. However, that PTSD is still etched into Trunks' brain, so he reflexively plunges his sword into Black's chest. So Half Saiyan sits there in absolute relief that he's finally one-upped Black, and Goku gives Trunks brownie points for finally saving his future. The Saiyan then congratulates Trunks on doing something that Vegeta can only ever dream of, aka killing a main villain. The arc ending like this, in my opinion, potentially gives some of the Z sagas a good run for their money. As I even thought the video was over, Black begins to twitch his hand as if he's holding a Wii remote and blasts Trunks right in the back. Just as I thought that Black couldn't get even more menacing, he proceeds to give Goku a grin with the sword still in his torso. Goku's confuzzled with what he's just witnessed because Black did not wish to be immortal, and you're gonna need a blanket for this next part, because Black nonchalantly pulls out the sword from his body to snap it in half. How did Trunks even forget to go to an enchantment table to put Unbreaking on it? Goku's two brain cells have overheated to the point where he accidentally bumps into Zamasu, and the god ends up turning into a merged Zamasu as well. But to be honest, it looks more like he got a new haircut and some cleaner attire. One Zamasu begins by kicking Goku to the side, providing an assist for the other one, and he hits the... Anyway, Vegeta's watching an absolute horror that Goku's being kicked like a football, and please don't show this to Chelsea. They might actually try to sign Zamasu to play up front. Vegeta then darts his eyes towards Trunks and Mai, who are both unconscious, and this was the final straw for the prince, because he releases all of his rage against the gods, charges in to knock Goku out the way, and he prepares an attack with such immense energy that it wakes up Trunks. Finally, he opens fire with a Gamma Burst Flash, which decimates both Zamasus in the entire battlefield. I can't be the only one that loves it when an attack is so powerful that it can be seen from outer space. Anywho, Vegeta's now exhausted from that last attack, and we look beyond to see Zamasu literally disassembled like a Lego set. Sadly, that awesome moment was all done in vain due to Zamasu's broken immortality. But Kai's then joined in the fray, and they both want to pounce on this opportunity by fleeing this timeline for good, but Goku is completely against this idea. The conversation ends right there because the whole gang look ahead of them and they see even more Zamasus than earlier. To make matters worse, one of them happens to be a fused Monarchus, so Shin desperately wants to teleport Vegeta away, but the prince is rooted to the spot seeing such a terrifying adversary, so Shin has no choice but to grab his hand. The Kai then hastens Goku to do the same, and all of a sudden the Zamasu start jumping them in unison. All of the gang then look up in terror like this, just before they're able to vanish away in the nick of time. They all teleport to the time machine, and Shin tells the Saiyans to book it out of here, whilst him and Goku use the time rings as a means of escape. Goku actually can't believe that they're leaving Zamasu alive, but Shin regretfully says there's no other option. However, the Saiyan has to remind Shin that Zamasu is hell-bent on destroying all other parallel worlds as well. Suddenly, a lone Zamasu standing on the skyscraper intervenes on their conversation, and he wonders if they plan to use that little ship to flee from this timeline. Remember when I said that was a lone Zamasu? Yeah, about that. There so happens to be an entire army of Zamasu surrounding the time machine. The god had undergone mitosis so much that I had to crop that image to fit it on the screen. Anyway, Zamasu promises to hunt them down no matter what timeline they go to, like a blue shell, but Shin thinks he hasn't got the facilities for that because he can't use a time ring. However, Zamasu wasn't referring to that piece of jewelry, and instead he plans to use a DeLorean that's parked up in Universe 12. You're probably wondering how Zamasu even knows about that.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
That piece of info from his former master means that he can accomplish his plan even in the past. So the god's first stop will be at Goku and Vegeta's world, where he vows to exterminate all of mankind there. The horde of Zamasu then drop from the high ground, and they tell the group to give up and submit to him. Vegeta's prepared to put his body on the line to allow for everyone to make a break for it, but this just incentivizes Goku to help stay and fight the Zamasus too. On the other hand, Trunks is conflicted with the idea, but the prince prompts his son to go back so there will be someone to protect Mai and Bulma. Begrudgingly, Trunks turns on the time machine ready to depart from this timeline, and we see this really cool panel of Goku and Vegeta posed up, which is a reference to the Metal Cooler movie. Just as a heads up, if you want to see more manga content, please do subscribe. Anywho, Goku and Vegeta are ready to take down the 500 on the left and the 500 on the right respectively, so both Saiyans charge up to full ki, but they're so drained that they can't even transform. Hoping for a miracle, Goku checks to see if there's a sensor beam still around. However, the Saiyan feels something odd in his shirt, so he pulls the item out and realizes that he still has the Zeno button. Goku then wonders if Zeno is still around in this timeline, and Shin replies that he must be since he has no losses on his record. With a plan cooked up in his mind, Goku tells Trunks to hold his horses, and he clicks the button summoning Zeno to him.
Oh, great heavens!
Zeno must have been hungry because he starts chomping down on the soil, but he gets up to side-dive the Zamasus and they start tweaking like crazy. The Swarm are losing it in Zeno's presence, so Goku takes the time to greet him, but this Zeno hasn't actually met him before, so Goku gives him a quick introduction. Zeno then looks at the barren wasteland and queries if it's all Zamasu's fault, so Goku gives him the
Yes, sir.
The omnipotent god proceeds to hit the straight face emoji, and look at Goku. He's leaning in and trying to instigate the whole thing. Also, I've never seen Zamasu so horrified because he hits the
Run.
Zeno then prepares his attack ready to delete this entire world, but Goku realizes what he's just said and hurries everyone to get out of this timeline ASAP. Both Saiyans get on the time machine and Trunks falls to thrusters before Zeno makes everything disappear. And Zamasu's final seconds are him looking so goofy before being Control-Alt-deleted. We then peer into the jewelry box where one of the time rings cracks and fizzles away, signifying that one of the parallel timelines have been destroyed. Anywho, the time machine has thankfully returned to the present, and Goku feels so sick that he looks like a fainted Pokemon. Everyone else is in glee to see them return, and Kid Trunks hugs his future counterpart, and Bulma hugs her husband. We then see this wholesome moment where Vegeta pushes Bulma away out of pure embarrassment, but she starts tearing up, causing the prince to have a concerned look on his face. The Kais have also made it safely back home, and Kibito begins to restore everyone back to full HP. Goku then tells Beerus that they came out victorious, so the Destroyer wants to know every single detail, and they explain all of it to him over a banquet. However, Beerus' trigger that Shin went to the future because he could have got both of them killed. Even more so, the god is disgusted that they got Zeno involved in their predicament, but Trunks is just relieved that Zamasu is gone and that all of the parallel worlds have been saved, which Beerus agrees with. Pilaf then comes in with a big brain moment and tells everyone that they're able to change the frequency of the time machine, allowing them to transport to different timelines. So this reminds Goku to ask Bulma to refill the time machine one more time, and this is really urgent, so he needs it done now. Goku and Trunks then return to the future, and the Saiyan spots Zeno swimming in nothing, and he approaches Zeno to take him somewhere that's fun, which excites the god. But seriously, how is Goku able to breathe in nothing? Saiyans are not built like that to survive in a vacuum. The time machine then returns to the present again, and Zeno greets everyone around, and this has Beerus literally sweating, causing all the deities to bow down to the Omni King. Goku then requests Shin to take Zeno to that guy, and we transition to Zeno's palace where Goku greets the present Zeno, affirming that he's kept true to his word to bring him a new friend. Both Omni Kings gel together instantly, and they run around playing with each other. The Grand Priest then queries if this was all Whis' doing, but the angel tells him to give Goku credit instead. Whis then gives his father an open invitation to Universe 7, and the Grand Priest says he will join them one day.
2 hours later.
Future Trunks and Mai are ready to live in this timeline permanently at Bulma's place, and Gohan casually strolls in, shocked that Trunks is even here. So the scholar tells him that he's been doing some training in the gravity chamber to keep him from being rusty, but Trunks is just happy to see Gohan all grown up because it looks like his master came back from the dead. But then Gohan hits the most unintentional low blow by assuming that Trunks' world is all sunshine and rainbows. Gohan then wonders how long Trunks is going to stay here for, but Trunks takes a minute to reply and answers by saying that they're going to return in 2 to 3 days time. But Gohan is sad that Trunks is leaving so soon, so Trunks reassures that he will invite him someday to his future to show him how peaceful it really is. And Gohan is so devious for this. He tells Trunks that he can't wait to meet his version of Bulma. What is he going to do? Go to Trunks' local cemetery? And this is how Trunks decided to go back to his future instead of staying in the present. And Kid Trunks is so triggered at Gohan that he starts pouting like Fern. I'm also mad at Gohan because he robbed us of seeing Trunks in the Tournament of Power. 2 days later, Trunks and Mai are ready to depart from the present, but Shin tries to convince him to stay to keep him as his apprentice, but Trunks declines his offer because he only took the position to defeat the Boar and Barbody. Goku thinks it's a shame that he won't keep his medikit powers, but the prince tells him that it's just his way of settling things. Trunks and Mai give their goodbyes to everyone, and Goku tells them to make a new peaceful world out of the new timeline they're going to. Bulma tells his son to keep being happy, and Vegeta tells him to not slack on his training. Trunks promises to keep his father's wishes and gives a final farewell to everyone before returning to his future for good.